Capitalism is a vampire, says Lex. Hi, Dawn.
Hey,
Let's see if I can get my face in there with you. There we
where's
go.
your face?
I
Here's
know.
my face.
I gotta make it smaller. Good to see you. It's
It's good to
fun.
see you too. I'm
Yeah,
excited for this doodle tune.
doodle festivities.
Doodle.
So, so I have a question for you. Have you always doodled, or did you just start doing this recently?
I um I doodle a lot actually.
Mm.
Usually when I'm talking on the phone, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it will help me, I guess, not be too ADHD with how I converse, and it
Mm-hmm.
may or may not help me focus occasionally.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Some people say that they're better able to listen when they're doodling, which I think is true. I also find that sometimes when I'm doodling, that it's harder for me to articulate things. So just because my mind is, I don't know. But I'm fine with that. So yahoo. Okay, so the next thing that we usually do is I turn my camera towards my paper, and you can do that any way you like.
Okay.
Um, and um, I've asked people what they ordered online, just within the theme of the Vampire Shopping Network. People are
Okay.
saying conditioner for wigs. Some people, what else people said? Linda has ordered two tomato colored bras. I think
You
that's
need
what it
more
was.
than one, obviously.
Well, one of
Can't
them
have just
might go,
one.
one of
I
them might go bad. I don't know.
Yeah,
So, all right.
let's
So
get
I'm going to go ahead.
commodified.
What's that?
I said let's get commodified.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to flip the camera and we're going to
All
try to
right.
get started here.
Okay. All right. Just I hope there we go. How's that? Can you see that?
Yeah, I
Good.
can. I'm just trying to catch up with you here. So hold on. You're going to see all sorts of nuttiness for a little bit because I still haven't come up with a really slick way to do this. Okay. There we go. And just to let you know, probably the top half of the frame will be my drawing, and then the bottom half will be your drawing.
Okay.
All right. Well, I've been
Um,
looking forward to this, Dawn. It's great to talk with you.
it's great to talk to you too. I'm having some technical difficulties, but
Okay.
I'm here. There we go. Oh, okay. Here we
It's
go.
looking good.
Is
It's
that
looking
okay?
good.
Still,
You,
you know.
yeah, I think I'm getting the top right-hand corner of it. If you put, there we go. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, yeah. So let me look here. Okay, so so you're going to do, so you're drawing, the way that your camera is now, we'll see it from the side.
That works. I'm doing sort of these drawings that it doesn't really matter
Cool.
which way it's facing. So
Yeah, and that's usually how it works with my doodles too. I tend to not really think about it too much. And sometimes it's fun to turn the paper too. Um,
okay. Well, I'm
yeah,
still figuring. There we go. Okay,
cool. All right.
Ryan, why did you choose Vampire Shopping Network?
Uh, I don't really, I don't really know. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Well, I had been thinking about consumerism, and I was thinking about like how much our attention gets kind of consumed by advertising. And then I just thought about like what are like vampires have always been part of like culture, in terms of Western culture. The vampire is a
Mm.
a figure in culture, and I guess I was thinking like, what does it mean now? I mean, it's about eternal life in some ways, but it's also kind of like it might also be representing a state of mind, kind of like how zombies might represent people who are over medicated.
Oh
You
wow.
know what
Yeah. Well, I feel like vampires are extractors.
Tell me more about that.
That they are extracting. So, that might be the hunger the hunger
Ah,
of the commodity.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
could
don't know. I
see
don't have
that.
anything really
No,
too too much to say about extraction, but you
yeah,
know, vampires, they're hungry. There's
right,
somebody around. They have blood.
right.
They extract. And they will hypnotize you in order to get that blood.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so there is
Yeah,
always a hypnotizing sort of element to that where, you know, you become easier prey.
yeah. Interesting. We have Kid and I have a kitten, and it's pretty new. We've had it for a couple months, and we got it when it was two, probably 2 days old. So in fact, it still had
Oh,
its umbilical cord on,
oh
and,
wow.
and it fell off, and Kid basically nursed it. But anyway, to get to the story, the cat does this thing where it, or the kitten does this thing where it kind of licks my hand, right? And I think, oh, how sweet, it's licking my hand. And then it just starts to bite it, and it starts to bite it harder and harder. And then it's like, it, my cat doesn't love me. It wants to eat me. And so when you were talking about kind of how vampires hypnotize people in order to kind of devour them, yeah, I feel like that. I
Are
don't
you
know.
saying that your kitten is a predator?
I think my cat is a predator. I mean, yeah, it's
Oh
not,
no. I
it's
mean,
not,
cats are predators
I,
anyway, so I guess that's fine. And when they're so tiny and cute, oh, he can
they're
maul my
tiny and
hand if he wants to.
I
I think
know, but at some
if they're
point
cute enough.
you're kind of like, this animal is like a animal. It's not a Hallmark card. You know what I mean? It's not a sweet little cartoon.
Have you had a pet before?
Well, we had another cat who was
Oh,
like a
right.
little. We had Reno, and Reno was like a little man in a cat outfit. But this cat is more wilder. He's not like a little man. Yeah,
You have a tiny feral friend.
we do.
That
We have a
seems
little.
fine.
I know. I
Everyone's
know.
like, why are you talking about cats? What are
I
you
know.
drawing that looks so cool?
What's that? Oh, I don't know. I just kind of think about it. I mean, I just draw shapes over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, tell me about. So this is a highlighting. So you kind of play with the highlighter first, and
Yeah. I sort of like my office supply take on automatism, I guess.
oh, cool.
So it's sort of like a subconscious, design, if you will. And then usually after I'll do an outline of it to see what it ends up becoming.
Oh, interesting. So you kind of like. So what I often do with my doodling is I'll start with the shape, and then just keep doing the shape over and over until I get kind of a design or something. But like,
Mm.
I kind of said it at the beginning, there's no real way to do doodles. We all kind of do it in our own way. Now, I was kind of curious. I have a question for you. This is just completely off the wall. But
Uh-oh.
did
Okay.
you know? Not really. But I remember at one point you moved from DC, where we both know each other from, and you moved to New York. Um,
I
and
did.
and what was? Tell me about that. And why did you move back to DC after New York?
Um, um, there was this thing like a pandemic happening.
Oh, it was right when that was happening. Okay,
And
okay.
yeah, I was on this production, and it was just like we were slowly watching the pandemic unfold.
Yeah.
And um, we were all sort of like not even really socially distanced in a very cramped office, working in groups on a docu-series. And the series was a little bit of a struggle. There was a lot of struggles just with the production in general.
Uh-huh.
And then the production company decided to shut down operations. They don't normally do documentary. They're a um, commercial production house.
Right.
So they had halted their commercial production, which is how the documentaries get funded. And our main funder felt that there were more crucial things to be funded at that time. So the production went into what was supposed to be a temporary halt, and it's still kind of undetermined.
Huh.
Yeah.
So the project is still
And it
kind of
might not
on
even
hold.
be relevant anymore. It was about education and about bringing schools into the 21st century, um, and now school is already online. So, it's definitely a good document of the before times, and so we documented at least 10 different high schools that were experimenting with um, different ways of teaching youth that is more engaging, um, skills that
Yeah.
are more relevant to the 21st century, and just like looking ahead, because we haven't updated education in over 100 years.
And now, of course, we've been forced, I mean, we've been basically forced to rethink it, or at least pretend or try to fit, uh, you know, 19th century school norms into 21st century. I don't know. What?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So, well, anyway, and it was just like a really, I mean, it was sometimes it was toxic and sometimes it was exhilarating. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, ooh, I really like this kind of like fight for your life, shark kind of like Shark Tank energy of New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just the whole pace of it was like, I was like, yeah, I can do
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm gonna go get them. So, but anyway, I decided to move back. I lived in East Harlem with a friend, and we both were just like, we were right in the heart of where the pandemic was ravaging through the neighborhood and
Wow.
the communities. And I still kept my apartment here in DC, and it's
Mm-hmm.
much more comfortable.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I came back to DC. I am gonna like go back up there and work as a producer on another project
Uh-huh.
in New York. So,
Yeah.
and it's like, I guess all the timing is kind of right. Like I just took this year of reflection and mourning, going
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and all those good things that happened over this past year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, what is today, the 12th? Yeah, so the last day that I worked my other job was it was Friday the 13th last year.
Wow. A lot of people I think a lot of people kind of celebrate this as the year anniversary of kind of the quarantine. Just a lot of people, I think this is when they started to realize they needed to take COVID seriously.
Yeah. Uh, I actually think that I had COVID when I was in New York.
Really?
Yeah, I shared an office with the executive producer, and she went to Europe for her, um, you know, Christmas holiday, and
Yeah.
she came back pretty ill, but without knowing it. And we were always in there laughing. That's a good way to spread viral matter.
Yeah.
We were just like laughing in there constantly. Anyway, and then I got sick a week after she was
Oh,
sick.
oh
And
no.
I've never had anything like this in my life where
God.
I had a really bad fever and my entire body ached really badly. And I was waking up every 2 hours gasping for air,
Oh
like
God.
serious, like, and then I was having the most psychedelic dreams. And I already have pretty like weird
Oh
dreams.
really?
Yeah, I'm like super weird. I think I'm like astral travel. I'm like going to different places. Like I'm like meeting people. There's like a lot going on.
Oh, how cool.
But
So,
these were COVID dreams before
okay.
we even really knew about COVID.
And what did you meet, like entities that were the carriers of COVID? Like,
Yes, I met entities that I think they were COVID. That's a
oh,
good guess, Ryan.
so
Shit.
do you, well, it's
Oh,
probably because I astrally traveled with you at some point and met them too. So do you think that they're aliens?
I
Or do
don't
you,
think they're aliens, that they are a spiritual force.
uh-huh.
And they think they're fucking hilarious. They
Oh.
were laughing. Like in this dream, there's this giant cloud and it was chasing us. And I was like in this like escape from New York, and I was in a van and I'm looking out the back window, and there's this like really animated, violently roiling cloud
Oh,
chasing us.
wow.
And the cloud was made, and as it got closer and closer, I saw that it was made up of all these like little animated circle little guys, and they're like hee hee, and they were laughing.
Wow.
hysterically, and they were like laughing so hard that they were bumping into each other. And so
Oh.
I think I met their spiritual entity. And then I don't know why, but I had like there's like some kind of narration in this dream.
Uh-huh.
And in the narration
Like a,
said,
was it like a documentary narration? Like,
I'm not sure. Like maybe it was a spirit guide, or maybe it was maybe like a documentary voiceover.
was it
But
like, was it Adam Curtis? Was it Adam Curtis kind of
no,
saying, and then,
it was so a voice that I had never heard before, and the voice said it's supernatural.
yes, it is. It's supernatural. Oh my God. Dawn, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, so I had a lot of really strange dreams, but I do think that they have a collective spirit and that they think they are funny. And like, you know, when you keep hearing about all these really strange, like very on the nose, ironic things that happen when people get COVID, like, and then, you know, the same cat that he kicked with his foot, like, you know, all these weird stories. I think they are constantly sort of doing things to amuse themselves. That's
Huh.
all.
Kind of like weird kind of poltergeists and things like that. Where
Yeah,
they,
you know.
I'm, yeah,
Anyhow.
interesting. Well, they want to, you know, that's interesting because uh, when you're laughing, it is hard to breathe if you're really laughing. You know,
Yeah.
creepy. Now, my theory about COVID is actually because of the melting ice caps that they were in hibernation in the
Oh, like
ice
the
caps,
ancient guys.
and when they, yeah,
Ooh.
and when the ice caps melted, they were released, kind of like in The Exorcist when they find the idol in some tomb. You know, it's like a released entity,
Yeah.
and then so it's actually because of the ice caps being melted. It was probably like a primordial, um, you know, life form or
They
something.
they seemed pretty primordial actually, even though mine were a little bit like Japanese anime, a little tiny bit.
Oh yeah.
But I could see them being these ancient creatures, and they were just having too much fun. That's all.
Now, Don, how close do you eat to bedtime?
Uh, I mean, I don't know.
I'm just
I'm
joking.
yeah, I'm pretty normal, I guess. You should
So
ask
you just,
what did I eat? That's the real question.
yeah, because that happens to me sometimes when I eat stuff, but I haven't had a whole lot of dreams lately. I don't know what happened. So
Uh-oh.
I'm always a little envious. Maybe I'm just dead inside now, you know. I don't know.
Well, I'm definitely edging up on not having any feelings
Oh,
inside.
oh
There's an
God.
occasional, I'm waking up. I'm slowly waking up from this dream.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I mean, do you find in DC that things are getting a little bit more open, not just because of the change of presidents, but also because people are feeling more confident that things are taken care of? Or,
Um, you know, I don't know if I have a finger on the pulse
oh,
of
okay.
DC, but
Well, you
I
know what
will
I,
say that people do appear to be much happier. There's been a break in the weather. I know that you're in Arizona where
yeah,
it's just always sunny, but here we've been struggling with, I guess, winter.
yeah,
And now it's the great pollen season, and we're suffering
yay,
a little bit for that, some more than others.
yeah,
And, you know, we'll probably get another cold front for no reason. Uh,
right.
yeah, and then we'll jump right into summer
I
or
know.
something along those lines. Yeah.
We have a very long summer here. It's pretty intense. You know,
Yeah.
I had a question, another question. So originally wanted to have you come and talk when we were doing our conspiracy theory, um,
Oh, yes.
because I
Well, maybe.
because when I first met you,
Yeah.
you were already talking conspiracy theories way before conspiracy theories. You know,
Yeah. Well,
before
the
they
thing
were.
about that is that I was just fascinated about what we have the ability to believe. And I went so far down the rabbit hole that I was like freaking myself out a
Oh
little
no.
bit. but also that there are these videos that I just thought were so interesting and mesmerizing. There's the whole sort of like people believing in lizard people, for instance.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And those videos are so bad. Like they're just, it's just like digital remnants. And they're like, look, they're shape shifting. Oh my God. And it's just, and I find it, I was really fascinated by it. And then also with mostly hip hop conspiracy though.
uh-huh. What?
That seems to be, there's like it's a whole genre unto itself, and it's really fascinating. I've stepped away from that just because now it has more. It's not fun anymore.
Yeah,
It's
it,
not fun. I was, working at Transformer in that election year,
uh-huh.
and they sort of got dragged into the Pizzagate
Yes,
Pizzagate fiasco a little bit, where I was reporting videos. They were like telling people where we were, like what the address was, and that it was
yeah,
where all the art was being made and sold to the child
yeah,
pedophile people, and just, it was just like really nuts. I'm
yeah.
still not sure like if that really happened or not, or was that
Uh,
a dream? I mean,
oh
it
no,
happened, but
no, it happens. I mean, up to a couple of years ago, I was still getting emails from them, little things about, I don't know what. I ignore it. Mainly they're kids, but the crazy thing is, it's like once you, it's not fun, first of all, when it happens to you. And second of all, when you understand that, like, there's a giant percentage of people now in America that actually believe that's news, that they think that that's actually, founded on some kind of reality. Um, I mean, those
yeah,
conspiracies, yeah.
yeah, it's you know, it's interesting. I
Yeah.
guess there were witch trials, and people will believe all kinds of zany shit. So
Right.
yeah, I guess it's not really anything new. Um,
No, it's
you
not.
know, it's not new. It's annoying.
What
But
what
anyway, it's
D-
definitely annoying.
Don, what new thing would you like to see happen?
A new thing?
A new thing.
A new
You
thing.
said it's not new, and I was like, there. What is new?
Oh,
What
well,
would
okay.
be new?
I have a thing. I want to get on whatever the space colony is.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I know it's going to be a terrible biosphere sort of thing gone wrong. It's like any utopian, um, generally, at least within entertainment and culture, it goes horribly awry. And, that seems like an interesting kind of way to go.
Kid is of the mind too. He would like to go off into the space and do all that stuff. And I am kind of more like a little troll. I want to be in the gold mines below the ground, and you
Oh,
know, be making rain,
interesting.
being making rainbows out of lightning bolts, and I'm a little, I'm much rather be in the Earth realm.
Okay, you're
Yeah,
of a magical Earth realm.
the magical Earth
Clearly.
realm. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I've had some dreams about being on like some kind of space cruiser or
cool.
some like I'm not even really sure what it was, but it didn't have gravity. And um, like I'm not saying I want to do it anytime soon.
Oh, okay.
Not immediately. I have a lot, like I feel pretty good about my life right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll stay here and not go to space. And then space is probably going to be like pretty classist.
Oh,
Space is not going
classist?
to be like a place of
No,
equality.
N-
I don't think it's going to be. It might be
no.
oppressive in space.
It's just going to be like Elon, what's his name? Musk.
Elon Musk,
It's just
he's
him and his friends hanging
him
out. Sounds like a
and
really,
Grimes are going to be with their child with the numbers, the sequence of numbers and letters for a name. But
right.
yes, I'm here for space. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh, that's good. I like that. The only time that I actually had an experience with space was when I was a kid. I was really young, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I wasn't sure, what was going on. I woke up in the middle of the night, and it was a full moon, and I was looking at the moon through a window, and was watching the moon rays kind of fall on the windowsill. And then at some point I realized, oh, I could just float up to the moon. And I was, and I actually somehow imagined going and visiting the moon. And it was very peaceful and very energetic. And
The
yeah,
moon sounds lovely.
that was my space travel. It's a little more like a Zen meditation for a child, but something like that,
So you do astral. It sounds like you have some astral qualities to you.
Well, I used to, and I kind of stopped at some point just because I didn't understand it, And
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately, unfortunately, I'm very pragmatic, I'm like, well,
Is it worth it?
is this worth it? Yeah, but definitely in my 20s, I was really, definitely into that. My friends and I would talk about all that stuff. And then as I got older, I just was like, well, I got to balance my checkbook. Or, I didn't, I didn't have time to
You can
astrally
astral
project.
travel and keep a balanced checking book. Checkbook. I don't know what that is clearly. I'm like, what? Yeah, that's what happens when you astral travel. You forget like basic survival in this society.
Exactly.
Your mind is just a mess.
Or maybe it's how it should be. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep
Go for it.
going with it.
I think it's super special, and I'm glad that you are not fighting it, that you're letting it happen. So that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I'm glad that you got me to like go supernatural on this Friday Eve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I can always not save our recording if you feel uncomfortable, and
Oh
then only.
no, I mean I'm just gonna have it all out here, okay?
Okay, I like it. I
Yeah, if
like
I
that
can't just be myself, then what's the point?
Well, I just like someone who's not in Arizona talking about this stuff because no one would really ever talk about it when I was on the East Coast,
No.
People talk
Yeah,
about that.
I usually get panned pretty bad if I'm like, hey guys, it's like a new moon in Pisces. And it's like, get a life. Whatever, lady.
No, I say
Like, I just need to get some more like statement jewelry before I start like, talking about moon phases. Ooh, Lord.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I think we're doing fine. I think everything is fine right now. Do it all because frankly, it's been a hard year. And you can say that for the next 20 years. Oh, it's just a hard year.
I mean, I'll use that excuse for a while. Hey guys, I'm gonna go like on a bender for like 4 years and things go quote unquote back to normal. I don't know. Do you think that we're gonna go back to normal, or do you think that
No.
there are some fundamental sort of paradigm shifts?
Yeah, I think there's fundamental paradigm shifts. I agree. I think that we can't go back to normal, and I don't want to go back to normal. It was way too urgent. It was way too oppressive
Mm.
before the pandemic. I thought that people weren't really questioning things or reflecting in ways that they are now, or at least it's
Yep.
not trendy. It's more trendy to be reflective now than it was before. So I feel good about it.
Being thoughtful is on trend, guys.
It's on. It's the new thing to consume.
Yes, quick, get our PR, get our yeah, whatever.
So now we're back.
That joke didn't go anywhere.
And, and Dawn, though, you've taken us back to our theme of Vampire Shopping Network and consuming and marketing. So I think
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
I told you before, like I have these childhood memories of the shopping network being on in the background. Studio lights and just like the strange way that they would talk about things like this is wonderful. It
it was
really
like
does
a
a
strange,
lot.
it was like a strange cult. Hey, so we are at our time.
Oh my gosh, this was so fun.
Yeah. So
Yay.
I'm gonna flip the camera over and
Okay.
we will say, but that was super fun and great uh, speaking with, it's great chatting.
Yes. Great to chat with
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah, and I hope that that was fun for everybody. And also, it's great to have you, Dawn, visiting us. And I hope that you'll want to come again. And we'll have to finish up our talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
call you. We have to talk more about these supernatural
I
things.
know. I had no idea that was going on. So that's great.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So now I have to just do a little sign off to everybody. But thanks everybody for coming. We are going to be coming back. Guess who's coming? Ian is coming next Friday. Ian Svenonius will be coming next Friday. For the theme will be licks not likes, and it is Instagram's orgiastic love child, something like that. You know, so we're going to talk a little bit about Instagram, and I think we got ourselves started tonight a little bit with like some conspiracy theories, so that'll be helpful too. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks, Dawn, very much. Have a
Bye.
great
Thank you.
week.
And thanks to everyone for coming.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye. And I'm trying to end it. Yeah, there we go. Bye.